We start here with the breaking news. Another mass shooting in Texas. 5 dead, 21 wounded, including 3 police officers. Video on social media showing people face down on the ground. You can hear the gunshots in the background. Well, this nightmare all started with a traffic stop, and it came 4 weeks to the day after the massacre in El Paso, where 22 people died. ABC's Matt Gutman is in Odessa with more. Good morning to you, Matt.
Eva, good morning. Police are still processing this scene and still trying to grapple with the scale of this rampage. We know that there are up to 13 possible crime scenes, shootings on the interstate, on surface roads, outside shopping centers, and it all ended with this massive shootout outside this theater. And you can see those crushed cars behind me. That's where the shooter allegedly rammed that postal car into police cruisers. He finally got out, opened fire on police and civilians before being killed himself.
Get out, get out.
For more than an hour, terror seized the sister cities, Midland and Odessa.
Get out, get out. It's okay.
In a now painfully familiar scene, families diving down, mothers covering their kids with their bodies. A mix of whimpers and semi-automatic gunfire outside a Texas movie theater as the bizarre finale of yet another shooting unfolded.
Between here and there, you're dodging bullets.
It began shortly after 3 p.m. local time, troopers pulling over a 30-something white male before his car fully stopped, rifle fire blasting out his rear window.
Do we have an active shooter?
Wounding an officer and setting in motion a bloody rampage which left 5 dead and more than 20 wounded. Shooting out of his window randomly, say police, the gunman used the highways and streets of these cities as his killing fields.
Their back windshield shot out.
Tiffany Velasquez and her husband Josiah at one point on the road just behind the suspect.
We hear about 4 or 5 pops. And it was like pop, 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 pop. My husband's with me, and we see these windows just shot out of these vehicles all around us.
Velasquez watched in horror as people rushed to help. The 17-month-old little girl hit by shrapnel. She's said to be in good condition this morning.
She is up and she's smiling and she's stable.
Amid the chaos, police from 3 different agencies issuing warnings.
In case it goes that way, protect your civilians.
The shooter at one point ditching his vehicle and allegedly carjacking a postal truck. Motorists warned off the roads, businesses closing.
Okay, we probably need to get off the air. Okay.
A local TV station even evacuating its studio as a precaution. Eventually, police believed he'd entered the Synergy movie theater. SWAT teams stormed.
SWAT kicked in the door. Initially, we thought that the SWAT officer was the shooter.
Rick Lobo was in one of those theaters.
They identified themselves and they're like, everybody out.
They sprinted to a field when they saw it. Did you actually see the car smash into the roadblock?
We saw everything. It smashed right into it, and then he just started firing shots.
Come on! In the chaos, the shooter seemed to surprise police. Dozens of rounds fired.
But that's how a lot of people get hit. I mean, you're seeing the blood, you're seeing the shots. I heard the shots going over my head. I mean, I'm lucky. There was a lot of people today that probably didn't go home.
Law enforcement has not released the name of the shooter, and they do not believe at this point that this was a premeditated attack. Now, we know this was a 30-something white male who happened to be driving around with that semi-automatic rifle and multiple clips in his car at the time of the shooting. Now, it's worth noting that some of the FBI and ATF agents who will be investigating here were also in that El Paso shooting. Wait.
All right, Matt Gutman for us. Thank you. Joining us now from Odessa is Lori Acosta, who happened to be at the movie theater where the shooting spree finally came to an end. Lori, we're so glad that you and the people you're with are okay and appreciate you speaking with us this morning. You were at a birthday party with your nephew, your niece, a bunch of different children who were there, ages 3 to 15 years old, as part of this theater complex. As this was all playing out, walk us through the moments when you first realized that something was wrong.
Our niece and nephew were in there, and so were some of the other party goers that were attending my nephew's birthday party. They were in there, but there was also children that we didn't even know. They were very confused. They didn't know what was going on, and they were all just kind of milling around in there. So some of them were trying to leave the laser tag area to go find their parents. And so my wife and I said, no, guys, look, something's going on. I didn't want to scare the children, so I told them, look, there may be someone in the theater that maybe is trying to hurt people, but you guys are fine. You're okay. We're here with you now. There were no other adults in that area.
Take me right to that moment. Did you see the final shootout? What happened?
Yes, I did. The van was coming down at a high rate of speed. The cruisers were directly behind it. Luckily, police officers had placed a cruiser blocking the path, blocking the road. And the driver of the van never slowed down. He slammed into the cruiser, which spun him around. And whenever he spun him around, within 2 to 3 seconds of the van spinning around and coming to a stop, law enforcement was right on top of him, and they did what they had to do to eliminate that threat. And there was, I mean, more gunfire than I've ever heard in my life, but they eliminated the threat at that moment.
What was going through your mind when you saw that all happen?
I just needed to get to my family to make sure that they were safe.
And we thank you again, Lori Acosta in Odessa, Texas, for us. Thank you. And one thing that Lori pointed out was the chaos and confusion, because unlike other mass shootings where it's a single location, they didn't know what was going on in that movie theater, and people were there, and then the danger came to them, and that's what she witnessed at the very end.
Harrowing.
All right, thank you, Wet.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.